My family invited me to the reunion to brag about my cousin getting into Harvard. As everyone applauded, my grandmother sniffed. Some people just aren't academic. She was looking straight at me when she said it. The whole backyard went quiet for like 3 seconds. My cousin Ben just stood there holding his acceptance letter, looking uncomfortable as hell. My mom's face went bright red and she started doing that fake laugh thing she does when she's mortified. The thing is, everyone knew I'd been struggling. I'd failed calculus twice, barely graduated high school, and was working at a pizza place while all my cousins were in college. My grandmother had been making comments about my life choices for months, but this was different. This was in front of 40 relatives at our annual barbecue. Well, I said, trying to keep my voice steady, some people aren't good at tests, Grandma. She just raised her eyebrows like I'd proved her point. My Uncle Rick started talking really loud about the weather to change the subject, but the damage was done. What nobody knew was that I'd been secretly working on something for the past year. While they all thought I was just flipping pizzas and being a disappointment, I'd actually been teaching myself to code. Started with free YouTube videos at 2 a.m. after work, then moved on to online courses I paid for with my tip money. I'd been building this app for local restaurants to manage their delivery orders better. Nothing fancy, but it worked. And 3 weeks before the reunion, a tech company downtown had offered to buy it from me. Not for millions or anything crazy, but enough to quit the pizza job and start my own little consulting business. I hadn't told anyone yet because I wanted to make sure the deal was real. The contracts were sitting in my bedroom drawer, signed and ready to go. I was planning to tell my parents after everything was finalized, maybe take them out to dinner to celebrate. But sitting there watching my grandmother smirk while everyone pretended nothing awkward had happened, I decided, screw it. I pulled out my phone and called my contact at the tech company right there at the picnic table. Hey Mike, it's Jordan. Yeah, about that acquisition deal we discussed. Can you email me the press release we talked about? My family's asking about work stuff. Mike laughed and said he'd send it over in 5 minutes. When my phone buzzed, I stood up and cleared my throat. Since we're sharing good news today, I guess I should mention something too. I started reading the email out loud. The part about my app being acquired, the part about the 6-figure payout, the part about them wanting to hire me as a consultant. My grandmother's face went completely white. My mom started crying happy tears. Ben looked like he didn't know whether to be excited for me or annoyed that I'd stolen his thunder. But the best part was when my phone started ringing. Mike was calling back and I put it on speaker without thinking. Jordan, congratulations! The press release is going out tomorrow. Also, I just got off the phone with our CEO. He wants to discuss bringing you on full time. The salary we're thinking starts at $90,000. My grandmother actually dropped her paper plate. My Aunt Jessica, who'd been giving me advice about finding direction for years, just stared at me with her mouth open. The rest of the reunion was weird. Suddenly everyone wanted to know about my app, about coding, about my business plan. My grandmother barely spoke to anyone for the rest of the day. She left early, mumbling something about having a headache. 2 days later, she called me. I owe you an apology, she said, which were words I'd never heard from her before. I was wrong about you not being academic. Building computer programs sounds very smart. I almost laughed. Thanks, Grandma, but you weren't completely wrong. I'm not good at traditional school stuff. I just found something different that worked for me. Last week, Ben texted me asking for advice about coding classes at Harvard. Turns out he's thinking about switching majors. And my grandmother? She's been telling all her friends about her grandson, the computer entrepreneur.